in Dalton. Credit card transactions amounting to thousands.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard has found herself embroiled in a growing scandal as reports allege she is attempting to raise $10 million through GoFundMe to sustain an extravagant lifestyle, despite lacking the global fame of celebrities like Beyoncé or Kim Kardashian. The controversy has drawn widespread attention due to Henyard's mounting debts, which have become a focal point for critics and creditors as lawsuits accumulate to reclaim funds. Allegations suggest her financial troubles worsened in March 2024, when revelations emerged that she had embezzled public funds to finance lavish personal expenses, treating the city's budget as her personal bank account. Her purported spending spree included first-class flights, extravagant dinners, and indulgent shopping trips, painting a picture of unchecked excess. This behavior has left many constituents feeling betrayed, especially as her misuse of public funds starkly contrasts with the actions of wealthy celebrities who spend their private fortunes. Residents of Dalton are outraged, grappling with the fallout of Henyard's alleged fiscal mismanagement. Local services have deteriorated, bills remain unpaid, and community morale has plummeted. During a heated public meeting, one furious Dalton resident confronted Henyard, declaring, "You lied to us as residents, and you don't stand for me. I want you to resign as mayor today and save our village from the deficit you've caused." Such sentiments underscore the frustration of a town struggling to cope with the consequences of Henyard's alleged actions. Critics argue that she has prioritized her personal financial needs over her duty to serve, recklessly using taxpayer dollars without accountability. For many, it's not just her extravagant lifestyle that incites outrage, it's the breach of trust that has left the community in disarray. Mayor Tiffany Henyard's perceived arrogance and indifference toward the very people who entrusted her to lead have only deepened the scandal. Dalton residents are grappling with the fallout, as financial instability strains the city's operations, disrupts essential public services, and erodes trust in local governance. Henyard's rumored GoFundMe campaign, seeking a staggering $10 million, has further fueled criticism, with detractors calling it a desperate and tone-deaf attempt to resolve problems of her own making. This financial controversy reflects a leadership style seemingly driven by self-interest rather than public duty, leaving the town burdened with significant debt while its citizens bear the consequences. Henyard's actions have raised critical questions about integrity and responsibility, both personal and political. The anger simmering among Dalton residents has led to widespread calls for her immediate resignation, with many questioning her ability to govern after such blatant violations of public trust. Critics argue that while mismanagement and scandal are not uncommon among public officials, Henyard's case stands out for its brazenness, audacity, and direct impact on a small, already struggling community. To her constituents, this scandal is not just a betrayal, but a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power. Henyard's alleged financial misconduct has derailed the town's progress and stability, leaving Dalton with an uphill battle to regain financial solvency, restore trust in leadership, and prevent similar crises in the future. Whether Henyard steps down voluntarily or faces mounting legal pressure, her tenure as mayor has become synonymous with financial mismanagement and public outrage. As Dalton works to rebuild, lingering questions remain. Will this scandal lead to meaningful reform, or will the shadow of mismanagement continue to haunt the town? For now, Henyard's downfall and the resulting turmoil serve as a cautionary tale about the importance of accountability and the far-reaching consequences of leadership driven by personal gain.
Taxpayers a lot of money with few details on how it benefits the community.
Reports continue to surface about Mayor Tiffany Henyard's alleged financial mismanagement and recklessness, painting a damning picture of a leader accused of prioritizing personal indulgence over public duty. Henyard stands accused of embezzling public funds and taking out substantial personal loans amounting to millions of dollars, with bankruptcy looming over her. Despite her mounting debt, she allegedly maintained a lavish lifestyle while Dalton, Illinois, descended further into financial turmoil. The crisis has reached such a critical point that even the police department's vehicles are reportedly at risk of repossession due to unpaid bills. Henyard's alleged reckless spending has plunged Dalton into one of its most severe scandals, involving not only the misuse of taxpayer funds, but also accusations of questionable dealings in various town projects. Among the most contentious allegations is her handling of Section 8 housing payments, a federal program designed to provide safe and affordable housing for low-income families. Critics allege that Henyard continued collecting payments from tenants without using the funds for essential repairs or maintenance. Instead, it is claimed that she diverted these funds to finance lavish trips to destinations such as Las Vegas, further stoking public outrage. Section 8 housing is meant to support the community's most vulnerable members, and allegations that Henyard misused these funds for personal luxuries have sparked widespread condemnation. Residents feel deeply betrayed, particularly since these programs were intended to uplift struggling families, not enrich those in power. As Dalton grapples with unpaid bills and deteriorating public services, the stark contrast between Henyard's reported opulent lifestyle and the town's financial collapse has only intensified public frustration. Residents describe Dalton as crumbling with essential services, such as the police force, teetering on the brink of collapse due to lack of funding. Henyard's alleged financial decisions have jeopardized these services, raising serious concerns about the town's ability to recover. The threat of police vehicles being repossessed has become a powerful symbol of Dalton's financial instability, leaving citizens questioning how such mismanagement was allowed to persist. Further complicating Mayor Tiffany Henyard's tenure are allegations of shady dealings involving town projects, with critics portraying her administration as one driven by self-interest rather than public service. This marks a stark contrast to the promises of accountability and responsibility that originally secured her the mayor's office. What once represented hope and progress for Dalton now stands as a cautionary tale of unchecked power and mismanagement. Residents who once believed in Mayor Tiffany Henyard's leadership now view her as a symbol of broken trust. The controversy surrounding her actions highlights the dangers of unchecked power in local governance. Henyard's alleged prioritization of personal comfort over Dalton's needs has left the town's finances teetering on the brink of collapse. As more details of her financial mismanagement emerge, calls for accountability have grown louder. The town's financial chaos starkly contrasts with the purpose of programs like Section 8 housing, designed to help families stabilize their lives. Allegations that Henyard misused funds from these programs go beyond a political scandal. They represent a fundamental failure to meet the most basic standards of public service. Vulnerable populations have been left unsupported while Henyard reportedly indulged in luxurious getaways funded by public money. This failure to prioritize the needs of the community's most vulnerable members has deepened residents' sense of betrayal. The rumored collapse of Henyard's financial house of cards extends beyond her personal troubles, triggering widespread outrage and demands for systemic reform. Many argue that stronger oversight is essential to prevent leaders from exploiting public funds for personal gain. The situation has become a cautionary tale for other communities, underscoring the importance of transparency and accountability at every level of government. As Dalton residents grapple with the aftermath, they are left to rebuild a town in crisis. At public meetings and gatherings, citizens have voiced not only their anger, but also their profound disappointment. Many have called for Henyard's resignation, demanding new leadership capable of steering the town out of its financial turmoil. The erosion of public trust caused by her reported actions has created a leadership vacuum, leaving Dalton's future uncertain. The scandal has also galvanized activists advocating for reforms to prevent similar abuses of power. These activists emphasize the need for stronger checks and balances, coupled with community-focused policies, to restore Dalton's financial health and rebuild public credibility. Tiffany Henyard's tenure as mayor of Dalton has quickly devolved into a case study in mismanagement and betrayal. Once seen as a promising leader, she now faces serious allegations of corruption. From the outset, critics argue Henyard appeared more concerned with personal luxury and public image than with fulfilling her promises to improve the town for its residents. The scandal surrounding her leadership began with reports alleging her misuse of taxpayer funds to finance extravagant personal expenses, including lavish trips to Las Vegas and attendance at high-profile events, all while Dalton's essential services remained underfunded and in disarray. Observers have described a troubling pattern in which public funds were treated as Henyard's personal account, spent on non-essential luxuries that prioritized her comfort over the community's urgent needs. As Dalton's financial instability worsened, residents grew increasingly frustrated with the lack of transparency and accountability from their mayor. Many felt abandoned by a leader who seemed more focused on protecting her reputation than addressing the town's mounting challenges. The consequences of Henyard's alleged decisions became painfully clear in the deterioration of public services. Reports surfaced of unpaid village debts and critical resources, such as police vehicles, on the verge of repossession. Investigations uncovered a web of financial mismanagement extending beyond the misuse of public funds. Rumors circulated that Henyard had taken out massive personal loans she could not repay, leaving her teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. Allegations also emerged that she had mishandled Section 8 housing payments, reportedly collecting funds meant for repairs and maintenance, but instead diverting the money to support her lavish lifestyle. These actions further eroded public trust in her leadership. Meanwhile, many Dalton residents, particularly those reliant on basic services like transportation and heating assistance, found themselves cut off from essential resources due to the town's worsening financial crisis. This sparked widespread outrage at Henyard's apparent indifference to the hardships she had caused. As the town grappled with the fallout from her alleged neglect, the anger and frustration of residents continued to grow, reflecting a community left in disarray by its leaders' reported failures. Residents of Dalton reached a boiling point as frustration and outrage over Mayor Tiffany Henyard's alleged actions erupted across town meetings, social media platforms, and public forums. During a heated public meeting, one passionate resident declared, "You lied to us as residents, and you don't stand for me. I want you to resign as mayor today and save our village from the disaster you've created." This sentiment of betrayal echoed throughout the community, as residents struggled to reconcile Henyard's promises of leadership with the harsh reality of her alleged misconduct. Critics argue that Henyard's financial recklessness, coupled with her efforts to obscure the extent of her mismanagement, not only failed to address Dalton's challenges but actively worsened them. Her refusal to take accountability, even as the town's financial collapse became undeniable, further fueled public anger. Despite mounting evidence of corruption and mismanagement, Henyard reportedly maintained a facade of success, sidestepping the urgent issues directly impacting her constituents. This illusion of leadership began to crumble as investigations revealed the full extent of Dalton's financial troubles. Allegations that funds intended for infrastructure and essential services were instead diverted to sustain Henyard's extravagant lifestyle inflamed public outrage. As the town struggled to provide basic services, the scandal reached a tipping point. Henyard's actions were widely viewed as a betrayal of the principles of public service she had been elected to uphold. Residents increasingly demanded transparency and accountability, with calls for reform resonating throughout the community. Many argued that Henyard's alleged actions represented a stark departure from the core values of public service, undermining not only Dalton's financial stability, but also the trust and confidence of its people. For a town like Dalton, where many families rely on municipal support to make ends meet, the consequences of Henyard's alleged decisions have been devastating. The town's ability to function effectively has been severely compromised, leaving a long road ahead to rebuild its finances and restore trust in local government. The collapse of Henyard's leadership has left a lasting scar on the community, with residents demanding answers and systemic reforms. As the investigation into her actions continues, many are left questioning how a leader entrusted with their welfare could so recklessly jeopardize the future of their town.